What's happening, troops? Welcome back to another episode of the Nay First Touch podcast. We've got a very eventful show on the horizon for you today. As I'm sure you know, a lot of stuff has went down in the world of football in Scotland. But firstly, I am joined by the regulars on the show, Jack and Kirsten. How are we doing?
Good, yeah. How are you?
I'm happy. I'm happy, yeah. All good up here.
I love the fact you asked me how I am, Kirsten. Very, very thoughtful of you.
I know you're smashing, mate. Don't need to worry about
that. firstly, troops.
We'll do our best, Chris.
Firstly, troops. During the week there, the unfortunate news, tragic news that Diego Maradona passed away from a heart attack. Touched on it today in my video and also in the wee top that I picked up. What an absolute genius, footballing genius as well. Jack, do you have any like memories you remember for the guy? Obviously, he was retired by the time we started watching football, but do you have anything that you remember of him?
I think it's just one of the names like you get with basketball, strong with this. With football, it's Maradona or Pele usually. Obviously, current players, Messi and Ronaldo, in my opinion, probably better football players, but Maradona would have inspired probably Messi to be a football player. He's probably inspired generations upon generations to play the game. So definitely a sad day for the sport in general. I
remember when he was the manager of Argentina, and we played them in a friendly down there at Scotland, down at Hampden. It was like the Maradona show when he came, and like it's weird how that was a friendly, and I can still remember to this day. Like I think it might have been in the mid 2000s, towards the tail end of the 2000s, and I can just remember all the stories about him getting the young ball boys gloves and just stuff like that. Man, he was just an unbelievable footballing guy. Do you have any memories of him, Kirsten?
I heard about he was just a unique player. He was someone that obviously everybody just looked at him and thought he has talent. He's one of the great, if not the greatest. And I remember somebody saying about his warm up, and he just went out and he was just putting the ball in the air, and the most he would take is maybe one or two steps, and he'd take a wee touch, put it right back in the air, wee touch, and it was like everybody was kind of looking at each other like, what's going on here? What's he doing? But he was just in his own wee world. And obviously the World Cup as well. That's something that everybody obviously knows about. But yeah, no, it was sad to read. It was one of those things I didn't want to be true, but unfortunately it was. But yeah.
No, definitely. Rest in peace. Definitely. Okay, moving on to the football. Rangers yesterday cruised it at Falkirk Stadium, Jack, 4-0 versus the Bairns. That's what they're called, isn't it?
I think so.
It was quite weird watching it because I'd played there about a year ago as well, and then I've just got wee Jermaine Defoe running about.
I was thinking that. I've seen a few CJ's tweets talking about how it was when Defoe scored. He was like, "Oh, it's Defoe nearly caught my record."
Well, that's it. CJ Novo 992 has scored 2 goals at the Falkirk Stadium. Jermaine Defoe's scored 1, so just tells you everything you need to know about Defoe, doesn't it? Hopeless, absolutely hopeless. But straight away, Jack, that was good for Rangers. It was a much-changed team. They managed to get some young boys on. Dixon get his debut, King get his debut, Glenn Middleton get welcomed back onto the fray towards the tail end of the game. Unfortunate Brandon Barker getting injured in the first 20 minutes or so, because I was really looking forward to him having a good game. There'd been a great chance for him to just impose himself on the team again, take his chance. The first goal came through that man, Jermaine Defoe. Brilliant finish, Jackie, and then Rangers just didn't look back for there.
I mean, it's pretty much just textbook Jermaine Defoe at this point. I think in 29 starts for Rangers, he's got 29 goals, so he's not really ever in doubt. I don't think even the game was in doubt before the game even kicked off. I seen the team and I seen that Bassett was playing centre back, and usually your left back play centre back would make you think a wee bit, oh, what's going on here? But there was no doubt at all. It was one of the games where the first goal, if anything, just kind of, it was like, all right, okay, that's it. There was no point in that game at all when you thought that Falkirk were even in it. I think when you look at the stats as well, I think the possession was outrageous. I think the one time I was like, oh, was when McLaughlin tried to skin Salmon. And it didn't backfire, but it didn't work.
It worked, to be fair, didn't it? Big Salmon that up front for Falkirk.
Falkirk.
Big Salmon, man, that was a flash for the past. There was a few players playing for Falkirk. Obviously, the co-manager as well, Lee Miller, had a good career. Still a player manager down there at the moment as well. They had, is it Alston that was at Hamilton last year? I remember looking at him going, I know his face. And they also had another flash for the past, young youth player, Charlie Telfer, that was at Rangers years and years ago. He played in the match as well. I was actually quite impressed with Falkirk. They actually showed that they could play a wee bit. And for what I saw yesterday off of them, I think that they'll win that League One. They'll be back up into the Championship, man.
Definitely. I feel like the worst team they could have played would have been us, because I think if they were to play like a lower end of the Premiership team, they might have been able to cause an upset. But the form we're in and the team we've got now, I feel like the only team that ever would even threaten us in that cup then would have been Hibs, and we've not even got them in the next round. So I feel like that'll be a coast.
Aye, so after the game, the draw was done. St Mirren are at home to Rangers, Alloa at home to Hibs, Livingston are at home to Ross County, and Dunfermline are at home to St Johnstone. Now, Kirsten, I want to get your thoughts on the Rangers game there, and also that draw. It's looking favourable for Rangers for sure. They're at Celtic.
Yeah, no, definitely. I didn't watch the game, but I seen a few highlights, and I thought it was just obviously Jimmy Defoe. The stats there, obviously 29 starts, 29 goals. Like
I think it's actually 28, but I'm sorry to break the bubble, but I think it's 28 and 29, but it's still astonishing.
Still good, but it's still good, and that's what you want from your striker, especially if they're not starting every game. And I think it's 3 of your defenders got a goal, which is good. James Tavernier, I think that's up to 14 or something. Is that 14 goals he's got or something for the season? 14, which phenomenal. The only thing I kind of want to ask your opinion on for both of you, because obviously it's your team. What's your thoughts on Hadji? I didn't really see much from Hadji or hear much from Hadji, and it's just that's kind of the only thing I wanted to know what your opinions were on it.
Go for it, Jack.
For me, Hadji is going to be a sub for us at the moment, and he's not breaking into that front three who are playing up there. I think Rufus cemented his place in there. Morelos won't be getting the place to have Hadji. He's not a striker, and Kent is one of the best players in the league. I think Hadji, if he was to play, and even if he played outstanding against Falkirk, I don't think he would be breaking into that front three. So the fact that he wasn't up to his best, it will be that kind of impact sub against teams when we might need a reaction, or if we're already up by a few goals. So I don't think he's a bad player. I think he's one of the best assists in the league, as you can probably tell by the stats. He's up there with Tabda now, but he's no in my starting 11 now.
I would agree with that. It was an opportunity for him yesterday to go and dominate the game, and I think he done all right in spells. He just strikes me as the sort of player that is never going to play well against Falkirk away. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd fancy Hadji to have a better game in Europe to like Benfica away than I would Falkirk away, to be quite honest. He's just at that point in his career where consistency is probably a wee bit of a problem, and as you say, he's still young. Like, he played for the Romanian under 21s in the last international break there. He's still, I think, 21, maybe 22 years of age at the moment, and he's still got a bright future ahead of him. The way that he came in at Rangers and he just set the place alight when things were a bit bleak. Like, there wasn't a lot of creativity, and the way that he came in obviously probably exceeded some other fans' expectations and Rangers fans' expectations of him maybe a bit as well. But I'm still pretty pleased with him at the start of this season. He's still got the assist. He's still impacted games when he came on. He came on in the last league game there, and straight away I think he had 2 or 3 chances, didn't he, Jack? And he looked all right, put a couple of good balls in. I just think it's a matter of time before he kicks on. But I'm just very pleased that there's other players in their positions that are stepping up, because I did think Hadji was going to come in and be a starter.
For me, Hadji's one of the players, like, see like, in terms of your team, the fact that he's not in my starting 11, like, quite convincingly. I've got the other 3 starting. The fact that that's happening shows how good we actually are. If he's a player that I'm like, nah, he's not in my 11.
Definitely. I want to get your point of view on Cedric Eaton as well yesterday, Jack. Big man probably did everything but score. It's just not really fun for him at the moment. It would probably been important for him to get a goal yesterday, but the manager came out in his post-match and said exactly that he still thought that he put in a good performance. He asked for more of his players than just goals, but it would have been good for him to get on the score sheet yesterday, man.
I don't think Itten's a bad player. I just don't think he's at the level that a Rangers striker starts at. I don't think, like Ruth, for example, when he came in and he wasn't really playing amazing, he then showed how good he was. Itten just needs to show how good he is, and then he will get games. Like Falkirk probably would have been the perfect opportunity for him to get a goal or two. And even though he didn't get a goal, I wouldn't go as far. I've seen Rangers fans saying, "Oh, never a Rangers striker," and all that. I wouldn't go as far as that, but he's not there yet.
I would be more worried if he wasn't having opportunities. So I would, and he wasn't involved in games. Yesterday, he was really involved in the game. The quality in the final third for him wasn't good enough. Obviously, he probably should have had 2 or 3 goals. Definitely, he probably should have played better passes through to Defoe a couple of times as well. But as I said, like, I'd be more worried if he wasn't getting involved in the game. He's a 4th choice striker. Let's be quite realistic here. So it's not a major problem if he isn't scoring goals. It's all about his progression and how he improves. I can certainly see how he scored goals in the Swiss League. He's got something about him. He's a right good athlete. He's involved in games and in a league where probably it's a wee bit easier, although that may be controversial to some ignorant people out there. It was a wee bit easier for him to score goals. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the big man. Shall we move on then to the absolute pandemonium that took place at Celtic Park yesterday? It was Celtic 0, Ross County 2, ending Celtic's dominance in cup competitions. They had went over 30 games winning. They had won trophies back to back to back. They still can win a treble, but the trebles are over, aren't they, Kirsten? Can you break the game down for us, please?
It was just shocking, start to finish, to be quite honest with you. I'm just at the point now, even watching the games at the moment, it's just like a task for me. It's just like, you need to do it. Like, you need to, but nah, it's just silly decisions that are costing us. As I said last week, the things, Rangers have got depth in every position. Everything Rangers are doing right now is right, and it makes it look better. And that's why we look even worse, because we don't even have a game plan. Everybody's just kind of doing their own thing. There's nobody really commanding the game. Usually in previous seasons, I've seen Scott Brown or Callum McGregor, whoever's in that sort of captaincy role, command the game, tell everybody what's what, essentially. And I'm not seeing that. I'm just seeing 11 headless chickens running about chasing a ball, and it's really annoying and painful to watch. I mean, since we have been so dominant, in the last couple of years, especially in the cup games and stuff, it's just like that's not the same team, and I refuse to believe that's the same team that's getting put out there. It's mad.
Before we absolutely slaughter them, I've got to give credit where credit's due. I thought that Ross County's game plan was absolutely class, and they executed it brilliantly. The commentator during the game said that on aggregate over the last 5 or 6 games, it was 26-1 to Celtic. So there was a number of times where Ross County probably tried a similar approach versus Celtic. They sat back, which they did. They played like a 5-4-1, a bank of 5 and a bank of 4 with Big Stuart up top. And Celtic were able to break them down the sides, through the middle, and absolutely batter them. But at the moment, with the way things that are going at Celtic, they lacked confidence, they lacked quality, they lacked organisation in the final third and also at the back, which led to Ross Stewart getting in front of Julian for the first goal. Jack, what's your thoughts on that first goal then for a Celtic defence point of view? Poor.
It's sloppy. It's one when you look at it back. My first thought was if he plays whistle dead quick there, because I didn't really know what had happened. I was like, he must have seen something that I haven't. And when you zoom in and see it, it's just sloppiness. See the fact that he's able to get in front of the ball there and beat him to the ball in that situation is a bit sloppy. But I'll apologise to the people watching a bit. We didn't predict any of these games, because I've predicted the league one instead of the cup. But I think we would have had the same result anyway, wouldn't we?
Aye. I was going to go. Oh, but by that, do you mean we would have picked Ross County? Because I would definitely have picked Ross County. But no, see, be honest with everybody watching, I would have genuinely thought Celtic would have went out there and maybe won that game 2 or 3-0. Like,
I'd have said 4. Honestly, I would have said 4-0. That would, and obviously this is going to just twist the knife in the ready, but that was the perfect game to get a response when there's a team that's in just as bad form as you and who have got.
And also Ross County.
I don't know how to compare them in terms of quality. It's night and day, and the fact that they've outplayed them. I was shocked as much as probably customers.
Definitely.
See, to be honest, the day before, I actually remember saying, and I was like, I don't think we'll win. And then it's like one of those things. It's like I'll say my opinion. I was like, I don't see it because we've lacked ambition in basically every game this season. And I was like, oh no, you'll win. Come on. And then it happened, and I just kind of went, oh well, that's bloody brilliant. That, but no, it's just poor start to finish. But credit where credit's due. Ross County had a game plan which we don't have and haven't had all season. And they went out, done it, and they got the win. So they better fucking win the whole tournament now.
David De Gea's doppelganger, man, he must be absolutely buzzing. He comes under some amount of criticism, but he's a young manager, and I like the way he talks. After the game, when he was talking to the media, I thought it was brilliant. Just so honest, saying how they go into every game with the plans and stuff, and it was a wee bit of a breath of fresh air, and gets his head above water again.
Confidence-wise,
big
like,
time.
if they crack on from that, it'll be good.
Ross County coming back for a very poor result themselves, and they've been on the landslide basically. They've been heading towards the bottom two for a while now after a very promising start. So I need to ask you this as well, Kirsten, before we get into the second goal. Is that result as bad as the Inverness Cali result in the 90s? Was it the 90s? It was, wasn't
it? I'd say for me personally, yeah, because I'm obviously viewing this now from what we've been doing the last couple of years. For me, yeah, it's a joke, man. Especially at home. That's the thing that annoyed me most. I was like, we've been on this. It was 35 consecutive wins in the cup run, all for that. And it's like, I think Ryan Christie came out like afterwards and was like, I understand the fans are hurting, but we're hurting too. Mate, just take a shot and make sure it doesn't go into the bloody stand. Like, what are you doing? I was so raging. I was like, don't sit and say like you're upset and stuff, because they just don't. None of them look like they actually care. Like, there was a pure photo from this photo. I think it was Ross County tweeted it, and it was like, I think it was just when they won, and it was like two Ross County players celebrating in Ryan Christie's face, and I'm like, he doesn't even care. He does like, none of them actually look like they care. And I heard that we heard this and it was rubbish, but I heard that Callum McGregor went for Bruni or something at the end and stuff, and I was
that story? Don't believe that.
That's like, no, but it's like, I wouldn't see if it was true. I wouldn't be surprised, because I'm like, this is shocking. And another thing I want to say, see, when you want a goal, Shane Duffy isn't the guy to bring on if you're wanting a goal. Do you know what I mean? Like, I seen that. It was like Celtic substitution, Shane Duffy on, and it was like 2 minutes later, goal Ross County. I was like, seriously? Like, what's going on here, man? I was like, see if you do not laugh, you're great, man.
I tell you one guy that wouldn't win a fight, Barkas, because he doesn't use his fucking horns, does he? Barkas isn't to blame for the goals, but Barkas isn't to blame for the goals, but I seen a tweet after the second goal went in, and it said, is that just sleeves? Like, you see, no got any arms, is it just sleeves? Because he doesn't seem to make any fucking saves.
See, before see the only positive I can look at it. What an advert they've got in it.
Who?
What a Christmas advert, man. My God. Merry Christmas to all, good night.
Aye, the memes.
Pure poetry.
The memes.
Honestly, man, it's a joke.
Can I see for like a Rangers fan point of view, like even probably Div will agree, even I think Lennon should be getting sacked, but that's probably a question for you, Kirsten. What do you think to keep him in the job?
See, based on results and everything, that's not keeping them in. I think it's genuinely just because everybody's like, if you look on Twitter, Chris Sutton came out, John Hartson came out, and it's like, every Celtic fan that's saying Neil Lennon's this, Neil Lennon's that, you should be ashamed of yourself. And I'm like, I'm sorry, right? But I have my season ticket. I support the team whenever I can. If I can go away, perfect. Most home games that I can get to. And for them to sit and tweet and be like, you're not an actual Celtic fan if you want him out the job, I'm like, who are you to tell me like if I am or not? Like, I think it's genuinely just down to his friend group within Celtic, because Nah. And if you look at previous Celtic managers, like Ronnie Dyler was sacked for way less than this.
That's
so
true.
I don't understand how this has got to that. Oh no, it's fine. I have complete trust in Neil Lennon. How he doesn't even have a game plan. How can you have trust in someone that's, came in and got bottom of the Europa League, doing absolutely awful, no ambition, the squad doesn't even look right, and just got kicked out the cup for like the first time in 35 games. Like, I'm sorry, but it's
Billy
time
McNeil
to
get
go.
sacked for this?
Loads of people, there's a good handful that got sacked for way less than this, and I'm just like, there's nothing right now that's still like even gives me the slightest bit, no, it'll be fine, because I've said for weeks now, he needs to go. Like, even as I said, when he got the job, I wasn't the happiest person in the world, but I don't understand how he's still in that job. And when the Celtic FC statement came out last night, I think everyone was a bit like, and then it was like nothing, and we're just like, you being serious? I think they're all just kind of trying to hide away from it. I think everyone knows he needs to go, but
Righty.
they're not going to act on it.
Here we go. Get a wee game for you here, Kirsten. Before we get on to the protests that happened outside Celtic Park last night, in front of me I've got the odds for the next Celtic manager. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read out a name to you, followed by the odds, and I want you to give me a score out of 10, whether you think 10 being the ideal replacement, 1 being absolutely shite, fucking minus 10 being
this is just my personal opinion,
Neil Lennon. Just your personal opinion. Here we go.
Okay,
you ready?
That's fine.
Coming in last place, Steve Clark, 16-1.
I'd go 4.
Oh, harsh on Stevie boy. Jack Ross.
He's good. He's just very defensive, and I don't really want a defensive team. I want a more attacking
That's
team.
exactly what you need at the moment, but I'm not going to lie. Here we go. Jack Ross.
I mean, it is a 7. I'd like Jack Ross if he came in 7.
Malky Mackay.
On the fence, 5.
Alex Neil. What a manager, by the way.
Good manager. I'll go 6.
Who is this guy? Can somebody... Jack, do you know this? Dan Petrescu, 91. Is he a foreigner? I
don't even know who that is.
Junior's pal, probably. Is Mendes his agent?
Big time. Right, Martin O'Neill is 81. Is that a manager you think could come in, or would you prefer go with somebody that's...
I'd like to start fresh, personally.
Right.
I mean, it's good he's been there before, but Neil Lennon was also there before, and fucking look at that, what's happened here. 5.
Right,
I wouldn't be annoyed, but I wouldn't want to choose it.
Okay, the final 4 are the 4 favourites. We'll start at the bottom. I just want you to let us know, maybe have a wee discussion here, who we think that the best one for the job would be. So John Kennedy is 81, Henrik Larsson is 61, Eddie Howe's 11-4, and Gordon Strachan is currently the favourite at 5-2. What's your thoughts on that?
Henrik Larsson's my idol. I absolutely adore him. He wouldn't come, but he's happy in Barcelona. He wouldn't, and I wouldn't. I personally would like Eddie Howe out of that, purely just for everything he'd done at Bournemouth. I think it'd be quite interesting, just to see what he could do for us if he wanted to. Obviously, it'd be quite. I'd want that out of all of them. I think he would be my first choice. But John Kennedy, I don't know. I don't think I'd want him as my actual manager. Gordon Strachan, yeah, had before, but again, I want something new instead of what we've previously had. So I think Eddie Howe would be my first choice. So,
Jack, do you think any of them
what do you think are going to
turn the ship around, mate?
So this is obviously going to be contradictory. My opinion for what Celtic need is a reaction. And see, for me, Eddie Howe, as much as a good manager, he's a project. He's not an impact. I don't think he'd come in and sort this. I don't think he'd come in and sort it right now. I think he'd be maybe a long term a good manager. For me, probably the complete opposite of Costa's saying. Funny enough, I think either Gordon Strachan or Martin O'Neill is exactly what they need. Somebody that knows the team, somebody that knows what it means to be a Celtic manager and to get a reaction out of players. And Martin O'Neill's idolised in Celtic for what he done there, and I don't see why Obviously, it's different. He might not want to come back to tarnish what he'd done there before, but I don't think Celtic fans would be angry if he came in, done his best, and it didn't work out. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like if it was me in that position, I'd want somebody that knows the team. I think I need somebody there that I know is going to come in and know us about. He's going to come in and do what he needs to do.
I tend to agree with you there, Jack. I think, although probably out the four, Eddie Howe seems like the most attractive, I don't think it's going to be achievable in getting a top manager to come in at this current moment in time. Because they're going to look at it, especially Eddie Howe, from the point of view, if I go here and it continues, it's not going to look good on me. You know what I mean? He's going to want to come in, he's going to want to be able to spend money, he's going to want to be able to change the team, etc., etc. Will the Celtic manager have money to spend in January? Because they've already spent a hell of a lot in summer. So it's a big conundrum, man. And I think that's potentially why Neil Lennon is surviving these horrendous results. Horrendous results.
I do agree in terms of, like, you want someone that comes in that knows the team, and if I had to choose between Martin O'Neill and Gordon Strachan, I'd probably choose Martin O'Neill, but I just don't want what they had before, like, for Martin O'Neill, as you said, to be tarnished. And I mean, Neil Lennon was here before, and I don't want it to be like, oh, but he's been here before and he was rubbish, and I don't want fans to kind of go against Martin O'Neill and stuff. But see, at the end of the day, you never know what's going to happen, and, you know, whatever happens, but as long as Neil Lennon's out the door, I think that's a step in the right direction, for me personally.
Just to split it up a bit before we do get on to the scenes that happened outside Celtic Park, let's go and do a quick wee run through all of the other results in the Scottish League Cup, starting off with Alloa Athletic 1, Hearts 0. Now, for me, this was the absolute shocker. Well, obviously Ross County. However, I thought Hearts would go there and they would do a number on Alloa. They played them in the league a few days before the game. They beat them 3-0. I had them on my Cootum as well, so absolutely distraught. I've retired for betting, by the way, Trips, because it is a mug's game. You know, when you've got Hearts on your Cootum and they're getting beat off Alloa, you know it's a bad day. But really positive result for Alloa. They're through to the next round.
Well, it's a massive result for them. I remember looking at the results in general and I was just thinking, they're out, and they're out, and they're out. My God, man. But Hearts was obviously one of the biggest shocks. I mean, I'll be watching open goal with Oakley to see how Halliday's doing.
I wouldn't be surprised if Halliday's fucking went on furlough for the open goal one, because that's a horrendous result, isn't it? My God.
He'll be getting pelters, man.
It just goes to show you, but anything can happen in a cup game. Obviously, looking at the Celtic game and obviously looking at the Hearts result, like, anything can happen. So, yeah, you might bet them in the league, but, like, things can change in the cup. That's all I'll say.
Bloody hell, I know. And Alloa is not a pretty place to go, to be honest.
We know that well.
Oh, big time, man. Have you ever sat on the seats out there? I was at a game there, man. I left with piles, for fuck's sake, man. Jesus Christ. My God. So it's not a pretty place to go, Alloa, is it? But 1-0, great result for them. Through to the next round. And obviously they've got Hibs in the next round, so they'll be looking to scalp the Edinburgh clubs, but I think that'll be a tough one for sure.
Definitely. See if they do it, that will be like a double shock, but class for them. So
I want to play them in the final. So hopefully they beat Hibs. The next game was Arbroath 1, Dunfermline 3. Dunfermline are at the top of the championship. They're absolutely flying at the moment. They're another team that I had on my Cootum, but they didn't let us down. They're brilliant at the moment. Ryan Dow was on the score sheet with Ewan Murray and Kevin O'Hara with a penalty. Great result for them as well, although favourites, Jack.
I think looking at Dunfermline's team, I was a wee bit shocked at all the names I was recognising. Is it Whittaker now there or not?
There's
a wee Hibs boy that I like a mutual pals with, Fraser Murray. He's a cracking player. He's got a cracking free kick against Kilmarnock as well. So they've got a cracking team.
Absolutely, big time. Kirsten?
No, definitely. They're absolutely flying in the championship, and long may it continue. Obviously for them, like every week they're just doing better and better, and I think they are. I think everybody kind of thought Hearts would win, but now looking in the last couple of weeks, I think everybody's maybe like, you know what? I think Dunfermline are going to be in for this.
Especially with how they performed against them in the league as well.
Exactly. So just, obviously I know David Buick will be very happy with that. So yeah, just see how long it can continue for. And, you know, they've just been on form and on point every single game.
I know, they're no shutting up, are they? Big Grant the Grafter,
How's
loose
it, how's
bucking
it
and
been
all.
in a group chat? How's Big Grant been in a group
Mate, do you want to know what the name of the group chat is?
chat? Go for it.
Wait there, I'll pull it up. It's called... Oh shit, it's called 8 to be Ryan 118 right now. Oh shit. But it was called like Pars are going up or something like that at one point. But that's changed.
Wouldn't be surprised, but I still think Hearts will win the league. But I'm not going to sit here and say that I'd be surprised if the Premier won it.
Definitely, mate. Dom Thomas is flying at the moment as well. He was at Kilmarnock last season. Never really got a chance. Had a couple opportunities, but I was so impressed with him. And the Hearts game specifically, the deliveries were unreal. So they were.
I think when you looked at the Hearts v Dunfermline game, I went into that expecting Hearts to win. Dunfermline just looked to me like a team. They didn't look like they were just chancing their luck and flicking everything. They looked like a team that worked well together, which is probably like mirroring the same kind of thing that Rangers are doing. Rangers, have a few opinions of saying Rangers don't have a strong team as Celtic, but we play as a team, and that's the same thing that Dunfermline are doing.
What a point, mate! What a point! Brilliant for you, pundit of the year. That was class. The next one was no, not that. Pundit of the year, no punting of the gear. All right, you behave yourself. All right. I was wondering if you were in that big swanky Glasgow flat, by the way.
That's what he was doing the other week when it was just me and you. Makes sense now, to be fair.
Oh, he's done it.
Edit that, please.
You better upgrade your Wi-Fi with that money.
I know.
Anyway, Hibs 1, Dundee 0. Now, it's quite a close game, but it's another win on the books for Hibs. That's in for 3 quarters. I
expected more, to be honest, obviously. I think they played them a week before, or a couple of weeks before. And I don't know, I expected more, but still a win at the end of the day. I think they played each other not that long before, and they won.
That's right, because they were in each other's groups, weren't they? And that's what it was. Aye, you're right.
It was to see who came top of the group. They were both through, obviously, but it was to see who came top, and it was. I can't even remember off the top of my head what the score was. But it was a bigger win than 1-0. But see, at the end of the day, see, as long as you win, you're through to the next round. It doesn't really matter. But expected a wee bit more.
Aye. Livingston 4, Ayr United 0. Now, we were talking in the group chat during the week, Gary Holt resigned. He'd have been seething watching that, 3-0 up the first 25 minutes, Jack, and then they go on to win 4-0. And this is a game where people were picking Ayr United to win this. Because Ayr are actually quite a tough team to beat, it seems, in the Championship, and people thought they would go there. It'd be a hard game for Livingston, but they absolutely strolled it, mate.
It's a weird one when you look at like any team in the history of ever. Usually when you lose a manager, there'll be two reactions. It's either going to be downhill, or they're going to be amazing. Like, look at Man United when they first got Solskjaer in. It was like some of the best play Man U had done in years. So the fact that he left and then this has happened, it's like you can say you're surprised, but in the same sense, it could have went either way, I think. And now United just were the team that had to get dealt.
That's it. And then they
must have been practicing set pieces, because I think the first 3 goals were all corners.
All under Gary Holt's fucking watch, because he turned them into the set piece masters. They'd have won the champ. See if like goals were only allowed to be scored with set pieces, they would have won the Champions League. Won. The Champions League. Not the league, the Champions League. They'd have won. Absolutely phenomenal for throw-ins, man. I've never seen a better team other than Rory Delap Stoke of 2006. The final 2 games we'll talk about were Premiership games. Obviously Premiership teams in the Scottish League Cup. And it was Motherwell 1, St Johnstone 2, and St Mirren 2, Aberdeen 1. Aberdeen are struggling at the moment without their key talisman, and St Johnstone just seem to be on the up as well. They just seem to be grinding out results. They got a positive result last week, 1-0 at home versus Motherwell. They're slowly but surely starting to make something of themselves. And not be pathetic.
The 2 results for me and as a Rangers fan were lovely to look at. Motherwell have obviously caused an upset against us, and Aberdeen are a good team. And a one-off game, they can beat anybody, I think, in this league. So looking at the results, I was kind of like the only team I can see in there causing an upset for the League Cup this year's Hibs. So I was happy with them.
Definitely. Definitely teabags.
Oh, yeah.
I do
Just
believe the
doing-
League Cup is yours to lose now.
I'm just doing my wee weekly Stoke Tottenham to see what happens.
Oh, are you? Just too sad to talk, man.
Too sad to talk.
No.
Or too tired to talk. I heard you were doing it at fucking Parkhead last night, throwing fences.
That's what I was doing. Did you see the video of it? Come on, I'm kidding.
Was
I
it
wasn't
you that
there
was throwing
in
the
case
shark
anybody's
fence?
like.
Aye.
By the way, I seen one of the videos and I just seen like out of nowhere just somebody fucking, and I was like, fuck, man. But no, just for anybody watching, I did not go. In case anybody's like, fucking this, I did not go.
I did
No.
see Jack in one of the videos, but an undercover Rangers fan. I knew that was going to happen, man. There's people saying Rangers fans were there now and all that. Don't talk absolutely shite. See when Ross
Did you
County
get
get the
a picture
second
of
goal.
The guy driving by.
He was the guy driving past, and I wasn't in the back seat actually because you can't be in the same car as anything like, can you? You get the jail. What do you call it? When the second goal went in, I'm like, fans will go down and show their displeasure at this result, but I wasn't expecting it to go south like it was. There's been divided opinion on it. More so, even a lot of the Lennon out, people saying that just shouldn't be happening. Celtic players had to get a police escort, was it? Out of the stadium with shit getting thrown at them, etc., fences, 2 police injured. Mental scenes. What was your opinions on it then, Kirsten? I know you are a Lennon out, but did you think that it went a wee bit too far, or what was your...
I think it went a wee bit too far. Like, I can understand everyone's frustration. Obviously, it is annoying to sit and watch your team doing so bad after doing so well, but I do think it was a wee bit like throwing stuff, no need. And I heard as well at Lennoxtown there was like police sitting up at Lennoxtown making sure like nothing was happening there as well. Like, you see all these videos, and I seen one, it was like a guy running about. He managed to get through. All the cars were leaving. Honestly, but all the cars were leaving. He was actually just standing in front of like players' motors, just like fuck you, and I'm like, mate, I don't think like his actual like, I know I say they don't have a game plan, but I don't think they set up every single game going, right, we're just gonna do fucking shite today, right? Is that it? Smashing. But there's a time and place. Obviously, vent your opinion. I think everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but in the right way. And I think it did go a wee bit fucking south and basically.
It was always going to happen, wasn't it? It was always going to happen, but
it
wasn't nice scenes at all. It was not nice scenes. What was your point of view on it, Jack? Obviously, you had a first-hand look at it driving past.
Binoculars and all sorts.
Changed playing, man. For me, I'm seeing a few people on Twitter, like Celtic fans, saying Rangers got a cheek when they went to the Player of the Year awards, but the difference is we were allowed to. There wasn't a global pandemic on, the city wasn't in lockdown. We're not laughing, obviously, because we were playing good and you were playing bad, and we kind of bantered about it. But at the end of the day, there's people wives at this and all that, and there's like, I don't know how many there was there. I'm feeling hundreds were there. People not wearing masks and stuff like that. So we can protest all you want. I would do the same if my team were playing as bad as Celtic were. But there's a pandemic on it, and it's saying that's the only thing I was kind of like, right, screw the head on. Like that's stupid.
I've seen the comparisons, Jack, but at the same time, Celtic can potentially win a treble. They've won 9 league titles in a row. No, that's fucked. You still need to win a treble. I'm saying you can still win a treble. They've done the treble, have they?
We've done the treble.
That was last year.
Was it? Right, so they've done the treble.
See the day Neil Lennon got appointed the actual manager was the day we done the treble.
Right, I've lost count of the amount of trebles that you bastards have won then recently.
Not as much as us.
Still not as much as us, that's correct. But they've just won everything like that, and they're out protesting like that. That's mental. Do you remember when we get beat off Annan at home, Jack?
Mate, the last home game I went to was a 1-0 defeat to Hamilton in the league, and what happened there for that?
Exactly.
Went into lockdown.
But no, I do agree that fans are obviously disappointed. They can't express themselves at the stadium because they're not allowed in. They feel that they can't express themselves on social media because they feel like the board doesn't listen to them. I was fully expecting fans to go down there but I wasn't expecting them to be that many, that close in the scenes to happen, which unfolded, to be quite honest. So, what do you think needs to happen for here?
See, when I seen actual people like, oh, I'm going down, or go down and all that, I was like, there'll be about 20 people there. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like, no. Then everything's just started. Like, I went off Twitter for a wee while because I'm like, right, this is going to go mental. And it did. But as I said, everyone's entitled to their opinion, but there's a time and place and the right way to do it. But I don't know. I just want I want the board to actually stop pretending nothing's going wrong and stop ignoring the fans, because see, at the end of the day, it's us fans that pay all the money to go and see them, pay all the money to support the club. If we could, we'd be in there supporting as much as we could and venting our opinion, but we can't, unfortunately. I just want them to actually be in the moment and be like, right, okay, we're fucked right now. We need to get somebody in ASAP and we need to sort this now. Because I feel like they're just like sweeping it under the carpet and be like, oh no, it'll be fine, it'll be fine, it'll be fine. And obviously it's not. So I think they need to actually take action instead of shying away.
There you go. She said it. She's laid the marker down for the board.
And if nothing gets happened in the next week, expect me to get a wee suit and fucking be in that fucking door and fucking sort it out myself. Because honestly, man,
your granny could sort it out, couldn't she?
Listen, my granny, I'll phone her and I'll find out. Honestly, she'd be my happy because she'd be like, sounds people. I've got FM21. I'm sorted. I know what I'm doing. I'll take control. I'll have it sorted. We're good.
Right. We weren't going to do a quiz today because I never made one, but I'm just looking at my notes for the day's video, and I want to quiz you on trebles. Since we're talking about trebles, I'm going to ask you guys, there's 8 by the way, what managers have won trebles in Scotland? So we'll start off with Jack on this one.
Walter Smith.
Correct. He's won 2. Kirsten?
Brendan Rodgers.
He's won fucking hundreds, that prick. Jack?
Did Mark O'Neill no win one?
Mark O'Neill did win 1. They're on a roll here. Back to Kirsten. Any time of day.
I know it's no right, but Neil Lennon.
Nope.
I can't think of any managers, man. I'm actually scunnered.
Neil Lennon can win it if he wins against Hearts. That would be, but it's whether he's in the job or no.
Yeah, but probably won't happen.
Back to you, Jack.
Just a random guess, Bill Struth.
Random guess is perfect for you. Bill Struth was the first man to win it in 1948-1949 season. Or was it 47-48 season? There we go. Back to you, Kirsten.
Jock Stein.
Jock Stein won it twice, as you would expect. Again, one of the most successful managers in the history. Up here, back to Jack.
Did Dick Advocaat win one?
Dick Advocaat didn't. No. I think he came in at the end of a season kind of thing, Jack. Know what I mean? Something like
that. I'll go Billy McNeil. I doubt it's right, but I'm just
definitely not. The last 2 of Rangers, men.
Oh, Souness? Right, okay.
Souness didn't either, Jack.
Oh my God, man! Come on.
I fucking think of.
Oh, there's 3 left in the Rangers, men. Actually,
I know who.
Ali McCoy.
Alex McLeish.
I don't think Ali McCoy's won 3 games. Never mind 3 trophies, you know. Ali McLeish has won. Back to you, Kirsten.
Thank God. Man.
Still 2 Rangers, men. I'd be very surprised if you get these, to be honest. So you can gee up if you want.
I'll gee up. Jack can try. No, let Jack do it.
I've already won, mate. It's alright.
You want to know?
Aye, go for it.
So Jock Wallace done it for Rangers. He won 2 as well. And also, I've lost his name, Scott Simon. So that's 2 managers from yonks ago. Kirsten, I know you wouldn't get them. But as it stands, it's 7 for Rangers, 5 for Celtic, which is mental to think because Celtic have been dominating. Then trebles and all that, and I thought it was only 2 trebles. They were going for the 3rd, but they were going for the 4th. My God.
Sorry, we did this year, but...
Well, that was the thing. Actually, I'll leave you on that. Do you think that Rangers can win the treble this year?
I'm not going to say no, but it's one of the ones, like, it would be unbelievable if we did, and I'm not going to act surprised if we did. It's like 50-50. We could, but I'm not like thinking it's a must. I don't think it's going to be a thing that I'm expecting to do it, because it would be hard, but it would not surprise me in the slightest.
With the way things are going for you right now, it wouldn't be a shock to my system, although I don't want to see it. But, you know, how informed you are now, I wouldn't really be shocked. But I think your main goal is the League Cup, like the league. But anything else really is just a bonus as well for you, so hopefully not. But
that's the fit.
Sack the treble, I want the quadruple.
Aye, same.
Quadruple.
Jock Stein, of course, the only man to win everything available to him as well. He won the European Cup, 67. So, worth mentioning that. That's us done talking about the football, but last week we spoke a load of nonsense, so I'm just going to open the floor up. If you guys, somebody did actually comment Range Rover crew last week, by the way.
I've seen that, by the way.
That was class. That was class for them. But if you want to open the floor up for anything at all that you were up to this week, anything you want to talk about, then let's do it for a wee 5 minutes or something.
I think there's nothing really been going on, obviously, with COVID. Really, if any of you's done anything
like, say that.
during this pandemic that's been noted, because I genuinely see this whole year.
Me and my mate Lewis have got a ping pong tournament on.
I love that.
We've got like a wee table, and one of them had, like, you could put the net up anywhere kind of deal. So it's no regulation, but it is what it is.
Maybe you film next week for the ping pong stadium.
Ping pong stadium, for the dining room. I think it's like 46-23 TV in game.
Jesus Christ!
That shows how bold we've been.
I was expecting something like, 7-5. No, that I was like, how many games do you play?
No, do you know the funny thing is, right? Funny thing is, Lewis is a big Celtic fan, and I was winning 9 games, and he was like, and he won the 10th, and he's like, mate, 9-0 in general, it's just tempted. Nobody can get it.
I agree with that, actually.
Definitely.
Is there anything?
No, I'm trying to think. Nothing's really happened this year for me. I've just worked,
so
and that's it.
Anybody still watching? If they're still watching, comment ping pong.
Oh, I love that. Off ring pong.
Overall, ping pong.
What's I going to say then, Nick?
Overall, no.
This is what I want to know. Start with you, Jack. What's your dream job, mate?
That's a good one, by the way.
Like realistic or like just in?
Well, it's achievable, essentially, but we'll go on realistic.
Love that for you.
It's obviously down to you, innit, and your mindset. Mindset Mondays.
I'll stop reading one and then I'll tell you, right? Realistic, the job I'm in now, I want to work for Rolex one day.
Oh, is there any perks that come with that, by the way? Like anything, do you like get a discount or that?
So I don't know the ins and outs. All I know is see the Rolex boutique on Buchanan Street, big new one that's opened up. Somebody in my work knows somebody that works in there. I don't know if you get a discount as such, but I think you get it. You think you'd get your first one at factory price. So obviously it's a lot cheaper than what they sell it for. But aye, my picture of I've got my Instagram picture already planned out. As you know, I used to work in Greg's in George Square. I'm going to take a picture with my Rolex holding a sausage roll.
I love that, mate. I want that for you. I want that for you so much.
Actually, see before I say my dream job, what's your Greg's meal deal? I'd like to know.
Greg's meal deal. I used to get them all the time when I was in college. I used to go for a ham and cheese baguette heated up with probably like a Lucozade Sport and a pack of crisps.
Solid.
Love that. Yeah. Good. I agree that, innit?
Yeah,
that's good. I like that.
I'm not that I'm not into sandwiches, but I'm going for a bake right off the bat. I'm going for a steak bake, a hot chocolate, or maybe a wee tea if I'm feeling a bit weird, and then I'll get a wee packet of crisps and all.
Love that. It depended on whether I was on a diet or not at the time. So sometimes I'd maybe go for a wee Mexican oval bite, throw that one in there, aye. That's no bad, innit? It's quite saucy. And I'd maybe go for a pat of quavers or something rather than a pat, you know what I'm saying? I'd go down that route.
Quavers are a good shout, I like that.
Aye, if you're on a diet, they're absolutely exceptional, man. That's what I'd
even
go for.
Even better for the comments. If you're still watching, put your Greg meal deal in.
Put your meal deal.
What's yours? What's yours, Kirsten?
I just eat all the time, so I'm gonna go for a wee tandoori chicken baguette. Boom.
Ooh.
Then I'll go for a wee Lucozade as well. I like a wee Lucozade. Or this is a bit controversial. People kind of be like, what? I like a wee Ribena. Not gonna lie.
Oh.
A wee Ribena.
Oh. If you're a Kevin Bridges fan, you'll know that means party time.
Listen, Kirsten, I am not against Ribena, you know. I like Ribena.
Do you prefer Capri Suns? Is that correct?
I just ain't having it in my meal deal. I'm sorry, I'm capitalising.
Listen, it just depends my mood.
The boodle, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I might go for a Red Bull sometimes, I know, because you're rinsing them at that point, embarrassing them.
Aye, you need to take full advantage. I'll take a sausage roll as well, but because.
If you need to see for the best meal deal comment you find, you need to pin them.
Aye. Hopefully, we need to get more comments in. So.
Aye, so people watching start commenting, and you'll get pinned.
You'll get pinned.
See?
Undertaker.
You'll get a wee shout out.
Love that. Kirsten, what's your dream job?
I've kind of got two.
No having it. No having two. I remember a few episodes ago we asked for your dream player and you gave us a full fucking starting 11. So you just gave your dream job.
Right. The other one was more just of a kind of hobby, right? So that's just kind of stemmed from this year. But I would probably say being like, I don't know, like sort of like background staff or like for like I don't know, even like for Celtic or something. Like physio I think that would be like really interesting. A wee physio or something for like Celtic, or even going to any team really, to be honest with you. I think that would be class. Like obviously interacting with the players, like obviously not playing but still being in that environment. I've always loved and wanted to do something like that. So yeah. Be a good laugh.
So are you doing your dream job as we speak?
I'm trying, mate. You know, I would say let's just go for a full-time YouTuber. Could you imagine the scenes, me just kicking about full-time on the YouTubes, just fucking.
That'd be class.
I could definitely see it. Hopefully it does, because you get a certain amount of freedom, mate, as well. You can choose what sort of stuff you want to do, and it's very fulfilling, you know. For me, like last night, I don't know if you get like this, man, but say when you are thinking about something that you want to do. Like, when I'm doing, I can't sleep. So, see, last night, I was thinking about this podcast, right? And I'm like, it's doing my fucking nothing. I want to be in a studio. I want to have microphones. I want to have lights. I want to have this. I want to have that. And I just couldn't sleep because I was thinking about it so fucking much. Ended up on YouTube videos like 4 a.m, looking at podcast setups and how much it all cost and all that. I'm not going to lie. I'd need to get a credit card and probably max it out to make this look the way I wanted it to look. But I'd say that. Aye, there we go.
Dream big. That's all I'll say.
All achievable, definitely.
Definitely. The microphones I was looking at were like $250 per microphone. I was like, no way, man. That's just the mics.
Here's a question for you, and obviously for comments as well. If you could stay anywhere in the world, where would you stay and why?
I used to want to leave Glasgow. I used to want to like leave Glasgow, go somewhere else. Or like the outside of Glasgow, but fuck knows, man. I think I'd just move like 10 minutes up the road, but in an absolute mansion. That's what I want to do. Because like
next door to Jack,
that's it. You're not involved. You're not involved in all the shit housery, the scheme, you know. But you're also no far away in case you want to go down for a scrap. So
if you want to be a wee bit nosy, you're best of both worlds.
That's it. Like Hannah Montana used to say.
Exactly.
I used to always pure want to. I do believe I was meant to be in a hot country. Cold weather does not vibe with me at all. I think if I was to pick anywhere, I'd pick like Australia. But I think I'd get homesick. I feel like Australia is as close as it comes to like I don't know that. They're on the same kind of wavelength as us in terms of like partnership. But I don't think anywhere comes close to us. It's just the weather, man. If the weather was different, Glasgow would be the best place in the world for me.
Definitely, man. It's absolutely class, but the weather is atrocious. Like, I want to be somewhere where I don't need to think about wearing jackets, leaving the house. Like, I just don't need to think about what I'm wearing. I just want to like be able to put a t-shirt, shorts, and a pair of shoes on and be able to leave the house without thinking about weather. Like, I've had so many ideas.
Worry about is getting burnt.
Exactly. That's another thing that's annoyed me about Glasgow, probably, I'm not going to lie, is I've got so many video ideas I want to do, but I can't do them right now because it's pissing rain every day because they're outside. Yeah. My God, so annoying. And also, like, I can't travel to anywhere because I'm in tier 4. My God. Pathetic, innit?
It's just annoying. It's just one of those things.
So, at the end of that then, Jack wants to work for Rolex.
In Australia.
In Australia.
In Australia, yeah.
Kirsten wants to be a physio at Celtic. And I want to be a YouTuber.
So there you go. Get to know us a wee bit more.
Oh, I've got one last question actually, right?
Okay.
Oh.
Right. Are you money orientated? Like, do you want to be millionaires or billionaires? Boom. Or do you want to just do something that makes you happy?
See, maybe about like 4 or 5 years ago, I would have worked for pennies if it meant I was enjoying it. See, now that I'm like a wee bit older and I've moved out, I've got my own place and I'm trying to live like a
a king,
a nice life, like a nice life. I feel like finding a balance of you might go to work some days and it's not the best day, other days you'll enjoy it, but you'll make a good income. I think that's where I'm kind of sitting there. I think I'd rather no money. I wouldn't work every day hating it for a good wage, but I think finding that nice balance is the key now.
Love that for you. What about you, Kirsten?
No, I definitely agree. Having that balance is very important, especially since we're all grown up and like doing our own things, have families. Soon we'll be obviously own places and that. If you asked me 5 years ago, I'd have been like, millionaire, mate, get me a mansion here, there and everywhere. Like, I'd have been like that. But see, now as I've grown up, I'm like, at the end of the day, the only person really that you're going to have 100% in your life is yourself. Like, if I walk away every day and I'm like, do you know what, I'm happy, that's money can't buy that. So I would say probably just that. I'm not really money orientated, to be honest with you.
Motivation Monday, isn't it?
There you go.
I think
this won't be up Monday, but it's Monday for us.
Aye, there's nobody watching this part either, is there? This is like life-changing shit, and nobody's watching. They just want to know what Kirsten was going to say about the riots, man.
Aye, basically that's all. That's all that everybody was like, click that.
We should have done a sports scene and left it to the end, like they do when they make the old fun games, the last game, so you make sure you watch it.
That's true, actually. Aye. That's true.
Right, I want to be a billionaire. I want to shit on everybody on the way up and just laugh at them when I'm at the top. Nah, I'm kidding, man. I just want to do shit that's enjoyable, man. Money's a byproduct of doing shit that you love as well, so we'll end it on that. Any finishing words, Jack?
This time next week we'll be talking about Celtic, Dormis and Johnson 2 each.
Kirsten?
This time next week, I'll be telling you what I get from McDonald's probably, or my Tesco meal deal, whatever you want to find out next.
And I'll still not be a full-time YouTuber. Right, see you later.